So I want to step out of my comfort zone as a fantasy reader, so I picked up The Memories of the Birds by Olivia Fraser because this is so different to any other kind of fantasy that I've ever read before. The fantasy elements in this book are essentially inspired by Russian folklore, right? Which means there's a lot of Russian influence. Like, if you just look at the names are intense. The names are very, very Eastern European, which sometimes doesn't land. I think they do land in this. I feel like this was quite an interesting book. And the main thing I have to praise, the best part about this book is the world building. There are pages upon pages upon pages of world building at the end. There's languages, worlds, history, dynamics, religion in this. And it's actually really, really good. Even if you just read maybe the last, I know it sounds counterproductive, but 30 pages, like all of this is world building backstory. And that's something that I really appreciate, whether you like a book or not. If they have good world building, and even if they have a little bit at the back telling you about their world building, it's really, really immersive. So whilst I normally come on here and I tell you what I think of the actual book, how I think it read, and how I think it played out, one thing I do want to emphasize is the world building and the effort that Olivia Fraser put into this book. I will admit this isn't normally my traditional kind of fantasy book. This is one of those fantasy books that really pushes the boat out, and for me, sometimes it was a little bit of a hard read, but because my fantasy books are very, very safe, I've never delved into an Eastern European, especially Russian folklore inspired fantasy book, right? And the themes in this are very, very heavy. So sometimes it took me a little bit of researching to do based on actual real life Russian folklore to understand some elements. But once you do understand those, and once you do get that base understanding and that base knowledge of Russian folklore, you're able to really, really enjoy what this is referencing. Do I think this book is going to be for everyone? Honestly, no. But do I think it's going to be for the people that really like their politics, really like their world building, really like their inspirations coming from those Eastern European cultures? Yes. The problem with this was me, myself. I'm a very Western tailored fantasy reader, which is, don't get me wrong, 100% a flaw within my reading, but that's something that I'm going to develop over time, and I feel like this is one of the steps to doing that. So if you are interested in picking up a Russian folklore inspired fantasy book, you should pick up The Memories of the Birds by Olivia Fraser.